Seth, come here. Hi guys, Chris and Seth for tripn'n.com.au, and today we're back on the couch and we are reviewing Offroad Tasmania by Chris Bowden, and this is absolutely a book you cannot be without if you're going to four-wheel drive in Tasmania. It was $39.95, which sounds expensive, but it's the Bible for this state. Damn. Seth is so excited he just cannot keep his paws off it. Now sit down. The book itself is spiral bound, which means that you can turn it back on itself, and it's quite glossy. It's well presented. It's split into various sort of sections. We've got north, northwest, west, southwest, south, southeast and east, including northeast, and ultimately guys, it's got all of the tracks that are iconic about this state, and it's also got information on free camping that are near those tracks. So we'll turn to a track that we've done, Bluestone Bay, and it's on page 134. Look at that. It's a tripn'n.com.au business card as a bookmark. And back to it, Bluestone Bay, and ultimately you've got a medium rating for the track, and the rating system in this book is fairly accurate. Rick and I agree that it does depend a little bit on environment, it depends a little bit on the weather you've had, but ultimately every track that we've done, we have basically agreed with Chris's rating system. It's easy, medium, hard and extreme. Easy, basically you don't need to get into four-wheel drive, some soft roaders can do it. Medium is some chance of getting bogged. Hard is sort of, you really do need low range. And extreme, basically you need a modified four-wheel drive to conquer those tracks. And something like Climmy's track between Trial Harbour and Granville Harbour is an extreme track, and I'm sure you've all seen some videos on YouTube or the four-wheel drive action video, and I'm sure you'll agree it's extreme. The distance of the track, in this case 2.5 kilometres, and an estimated time of 15 minutes to conquer this track. And again, subjective, depends on how many photos you want to get, whether you want to get out, have a look around. Ultimately, 15 minutes is just the driving time. Gives you map reference, and in this case it's 1 to 100,000 Freycinet or 1 to 25,000 Coles Bay, and it gives you some sort of ultimately clues before you start. And in this case it's no fires permitted. Understandably, it's a Parks and Wildlife National Park, and if camping at Whitewater Wall, you'll need a fuel stove and some fresh water, and again we found exactly that. The general information, it's brief, but it does give you a little bit of an idea of what's going on. And there's some sheer cliffs near Whitewater Wall, and the area is used for abseiling at times, and there's a small camping area with a few facilities. And if you watch our campsite review of the Bluestone Bay area on YouTube or on www.tripn'n.com.au, you'll agree it's a small campsite and there are a few facilities. Just with those cliffs at Whitewater Wall, just as a side thought, bear in mind that they can be dangerous, and you'll need to keep an eye on your kids if you camp in that area. There's no pets allowed, again understandably, sorry Seth, it's a national park, so you'll have to leave your tripping dog at home. And there's some warnings in this one. By coincidence, it's got the cliffs I just mentioned, and the permits required to do this track. If it's a forestry permit or you need a key, in this case it's Parks and Wildlife, so you'll need a valid parks pass. One of the cool things about this book is that you've got your distance travelled in and out. So you've got 0.0, ultimately that's the start of the track, and you set your odometer at that point, and you can get an idea of exactly how far you've gone. And these sort of indicators are accurate. We've tested them, and it also gives you a little tent next to an area where you can camp. The other thing I like about this book is the maps, and I've had all 3 editions because this is the 3rd edition, and these maps in the 3rd edition are absolutely great. And I've even scanned that map, calibrated it, and put it into Aussie Explorer, and have used it on the track. And I'll try and do a review of that technique later on down the track, no pun intended. But ultimately, these are to scale, and you can quite easily find your track, start and finish, utilising this information and these maps. Guys, that's about it. This one lives in my car, so it's a little bit faded, but bottom line, you really need to buy this book and check it out. You can get it from the souvenir shops, the website, Chris Bowen's website, I think it's roving.com.au, www.roving.com.au, and I'll put a link to that at the bottom. But bottom line, guys, go and check out a copy of Offroad Tasmania by Chris Bowden, and this is 3rd edition. Check it out.